Hi everyone, so here we are with video number 2, my entire DVD collection, so over 4,000 titles that I'm going to be showing you over a series of videos. Now DVDs are just fun movies that I find whilst I'm out thrifting, going to various charity shops, so a lot of walking involved in finding all of these movies. I'm at this rare stage at the moment where I've got everything filed alphabetically, so it seems like a good time to show you. So I've gone through the A's, now here we go with the B's. Jennifer Kent's The Babadook. John Goodman in The Babe. Alexander Inarritu's Babel. Stefano Duran in Babette's Feast. Edgar Wright's Baby Driver. Watched this one just the other week. Steve McQueen and the great Lee Remick in Baby, the Rain Must Fall, based on a play by Horton Foote. Damien Chazelle's Babylon, haven't watched this yet. The Babysitters. Tom Hanks and a whisk in Bachelor Party. Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School. And the Back to the Future trilogy. Backbeat, about the fifth Beatle, Stuart Sutcliffe, played by Stephen Dorff. And Ron Howard's Backdraft. Great movie this, watched this just the other week. Backfire, directed by Gene Becker and with Jean Seberg and Jean-Paul Belmondo, so most famous for being in Breathless. But yeah, this is a great follow-up. So it's not French New Wave, so it wasn't very successful, but it's a great deal of fun, a lot of globe-trotting, and it co-stars Gert Frobe, who is famous as Goldfinger, and he actually plays a gold smuggler, and it was the same year, 1964. Well worth seeking out this film. Vincente Minnelli's The Bad and the Beautiful, Kirk Douglas. Sean Penn in Bad Boys. And then, no, not quite the same sequel, but this is Bad Boys 2. Funnily enough, I haven't got the Will Smith Bad Boys, so I need to perhaps rectify that, but there you go. Excellent movie with Spencer Tracy, Bad Day at Black Rock. Pedro Almodovar's Bad Education. All-female western, Bad Girls. Nice 90s thriller directed by Curtis Hanson, Bad Influence with Rob Lowe and James Spader. And Walter Matthau in Michael Ritchie's The Bad News Bears. Documentary on Joan Jett, Bad Reputation. And an early movie from Peter Jackson, this is Bad Taste. Robert Duvall in Badge 373. You can also get this via Indicator. Baghdad Cafe. And Daniel Day-Lewis in The Ballad of Jack and Rose. The Ballad of Lefty Brown. Watched this one the other day. Bill Pullman playing a character a bit like Slim Pickens or Walter Brennan, but being forced to become the hero in this movie. Yeah, quite a good western. Bambi, one of my favourite Disney movies. Woody Allen, Bananas. Clark Gable, Yvonne De Carlo in Band of Angels. Shekhar Kapoor's Bandit Queen. And the beautifully visual Baraka. Bit of Pamela Anderson in Barbed Wire. And Denise Arcon's The Barbarian Invasions. Humphrey Bogart, Ava Gardner in The Barefoot Contessa. A different kind of barefoot. We've got Kurt Russell here in Walt Disney's The Barefoot Executive. Based on the life of Charles Bukowski, got Mickey Rourke here in Barfly. And directed by André Téchiné, Gérard Depardieu and Isabella Gianni, Barocco. Leonardo DiCaprio in The Basketball Diaries. Fun little movie this, Bat 21 with Gene Hackman and Danny Glover. Gene Hackman having to pretend he's on a golf course in order to navigate his way out of a difficult situation. The Batman, love this. A 4-pack here of the other Batman movies. Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. Nice cover there. Comes with a DVD and then a little graphic novel inside as well. Batman and Mr. Freeze, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, and Batman, Mystery of the Batwoman. 3 more animated Batman movies. And the Adam West Batman movie. Battle of Britain. Still haven't watched this yet, but John Travolta in Battlefield Earth. Van Johnson in Battleground, directed by William A. Wellman. B.B. King, The Life of Riley, documentary on the great bluesman. I've been fortunate to see him in concert a few times. Jack Black and Mos Def in Be Kind, Rewind. DiCaprio in The Beach, written by Alex Garland. And Barbara Hershey and Bette Midler in Beaches. Jean-Jacques Arnaud's Wordless The Bear, really enjoyed this. And directed by Kevin Reynolds, The Beast, also known as The Beast of War. A pre-code thriller with Jean Harlow, The Beast of the City. And directed by Philip Mora, who also did Mad Dog Morgan. This is The Beast Within. From director Jacques Audiard, The Beat That My Heart Skipped. And Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind. Brendan Fraser and Liz Hurley in Bedazzled. And directed by Chol Soo Jang, this is Bedeviled. Don't Say It 3 Times, Beetlejuice. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, I have Before Moonlight on Blu-ray. From Sidney Lumet, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. And Clint Eastwood in Don Siegel's version of The Beguiled. Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman, Behind Enemy Lines. Michael Douglas and Matt Damon in Behind the Candelabra, about Liberace. Annette Bening, Jeremy Irons in Being Julia. From the Blair Witch Project director Daniel Myrick, this is Believers. And Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak, Bell, Book and Candle. Bing Crosby and Ingrid Bergman, The Bells of St. Mary's. From Society director Brian Yuzna, this is Beneath Still Waters. Not too great, this one. Johnny Depp and Mary Stuart Masterson in Benny and June. And Christopher Lambert in Beowulf. Neat little thriller this, Reese Witherspoon and Josh Brolin in Best Laid Plans. And Burt Reynolds, Dolly Parton, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Eric Roberts, Best of the Best. Robin Williams, Kurt Russell, The Best of Times. And William Wyler's Oscar-winning classic, The Best Years of Our Lives. Great movie. Bit of Harold Robbins trash, The Betsy. Better Than Chocolate. From John Woo, this is A Better Tomorrow. And its sequel, A Better Tomorrow 2, Chow Yun-fat. Michael Sarrazin, Leslie Ann Warren in Beulah Land. And Eddie Murphy in the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy. Angelina Jolie and Clive Owen in Beyond Borders. A good documentary about Sir Edmund Hillary's climbing of Everest, Beyond the Edge. And a not so great sequel to the Poseidon Adventure, but still a bit of fun, Beyond the Poseidon Adventure. Back to the silent days, we've got Rudolph Valentino and Gloria Swanson teaming up in Beyond the Rocks. And Steven Spielberg's The BFG. Tom Hanks in Big. And Luc Besson's The Big Blue, quite a mesmerising kind of film this. Lawrence Kasdan's The Big Chill. And one of my favourite westerns, The Big Country with Gregory Peck. Great New Orleans atmosphere in this one, The Big Easy with Dennis Quaid and Ellen Barkin. And Tim Burton's Big Fish. Fun little whale rescue movie this, Big Miracle with John Krasinski and Drew Barrymore. And from Samuel Fuller, The Big Red One, Lee Marvin and Mark Hamill. Great movie. The Big Short. Kurt Russell in John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. And from director John Milius, Big Wednesday. Robin Williams in The Big White. Bikini Drive-In. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Terence Stamp making his film debut in Billy Budd, directed by Peter Ustinov. Tom Laughlin in Billy Jack. And Clint Eastwood's homage to Charlie Parker, Bird, with Forrest Whitaker. Dario Argento's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. And Burt Lancaster in Birdman of Alcatraz. Alejandro Inarritu's Birdman. And a Hitchcock classic, The Birds. Based on a Sebastian Faulks novel, this is Birdsong. And Alan Parker's Birdie with Matthew Modine and Nicolas Cage. Jonathan Glazer's Birth, starring Nicole Kidman. Cary Grant in The Bishop's Wife. Gene Hackman and Candice Bergen in Bite the Bullet. And Rainer Werner Fassbinder's The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant. Paul Verhoeven's Black Book. Bob Clark's classic horror Black Christmas. Brian De Palma's The Black Dahlia. And Ridley Scott's Black Hawk Down. Disney's The Black Hole. And Harold Becker's The Black Marble, based on the novel by Joseph Wambaugh. Jet Li in Black Mask. Tommy Lee Jones and Linda Hamilton in Black Moon Rising. And from director Milos Forman, Black Peter. Ridley Scott's Black Rain with Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia. And Lothair Bluto in director Bruce Bereford's Black Robe. I like this movie. Boris Karloff in Black Sabbath. And The Black Stallion Returns. I have The Black Stallion on Blu-ray. Natalie Portman in Black Swan, directed by Darren Aronofsky. And Michael Caine in The Black Windmill, directed by Don Siegel. Okay, a bit of TV has crept in here, but this is Black Work with Sheridan Smith. And a mini-series as well, Blackbeard. Now, I've tried to keep all my TV separate, actually, but there will be a few titles that will be creeping in here and there. Probably a few music titles that will creep in as well. Sorry about that, but yeah, I will be showing TV much later on in this series of videos. Spike Lee's Black Klansman. The Blade Trilogy. Blade Runner. Brendan Fraser, Alicia Silverstone, Blast from the Past. And Takeshi Kitano's version of Zatoichi, the Blind Swordsman, and this also comes with Sonatine as well. Meiko Kaji also starred in Lady Snowblood. This is Blind Woman's Curse. Chuck Russell's excellent remake of The Blob, such great effects in this one. John Wayne, Lauren Bacall in Blood Alley. Jack Nicholson and Jennifer Lopez and Michael Caine as well, not mentioned on the cover here, but yeah, Blood and Wine. Bit of Hammer horror with Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. And the great Coen Brothers movie, Blood Simple. Rest in peace, M. Emmett Walsh. Clint Eastwood's Blood Work. Johnny Depp, Penelope Cruz in Blow. And Antonioni's Blow Up. Blue Car, this was put out by Imprint, I think, not too long ago. And Kate Bosworth in Blue Crush. Basil Dearden classic, The Blue Lamp. And Roy Scheider in John Badham's Blue Thunder. Dennis Hopper and Isabella Rossellini in Blue Velvet. Ryan Gosling, Michelle Williams, Blue Valentine. Directed by Emilio Estevez, this is Bobby. And Brian De Palma's Body Double. Movie about Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. And from director Jean-Paul Rappeneau, who did Cyrano de Bergerac, this is Bon Voyage with Gérard Depardieu and Isabella Gianni. Bone-crunching western with a difference, Bone Tomahawk. And Brian De Palma's ill-fated adaptation of Tom Wolfe's The Bonfire of the Vanities. Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway in the classic Bonnie and Clyde. And a not-so-classic remake directed by Bruce Beresford. Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights. And there it is again, this is just the Region 2 version. Great movie this, Joseph Losey's Boom with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. I will be doing a video about this at some stage. I meant to do one quite a few months ago, but I will come back to it. Lo and behold, I have a steelbook. Here is The Boondock Saints and Denzel Washington in the Book of Eli. Very nice. And Borat. Directed by Anthony Mann. This is Border Incident with Ricardo Montalban. Love this one. Born Free with great music from John Barry. And documentary Born into Brothels. Oliver Stone's Born on the 4th of July with Tom Cruise. And terrible cover this, it should be George Segal on the front in Born to Win. Robert De Niro only has a very, very small part. This is the remake of Born Yesterday, Melanie Griffith with Don Johnson. And the follow-up to Borsellino, this is Alain Delon in some great suits in Borsellino & Co., directed by Jacques Deray. Early Wes Anderson in Bottle Rocket. And a wine-tasting comedy drama, Bottle Shock, with Alan Rickman. Mel Gibson, Anthony Hopkins in The Bounty. Richard Chamberlain and Jacqueline Smith in The Bourne Identity. And again with Matt Damon. The Bourne Legacy. The Bourne Supremacy. And The Bourne Ultimatum. Martin Scorsese's Boxcar Bertha with Barbara Hershey. And directed by Jim Sheridan, this is Daniel Day-Lewis and Emily Watson in The Boxer. Taika Waititi's Boy. And yes, John Travolta in The Boy in the Plastic Bubble. That was me when I was a kid. I was actually in a plastic bubble for a little while. Richard Linklater's Boyhood. Fun movie, Frank Henenlotter's Brain Damage. And Douglas Trumbull's Brainstorm with Christopher Walken and Natalie Wood. I like this one. John Wayne in Brannigan. Young Ewan McGregor there in Brassed Off. Watched this just the other night. The Brave One, directed by Neil Jordan and with Jodie Foster. Good movie. TV movie really, but yeah, Sean Bean in Bravo 2-0. Very violent, but I enjoyed this one a lot. Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn. Great Chris Cooper performance in Breach. The Breadwinner. Classic Audrey Hepburn, Breakfast at Tiffany's. A very different looking Cillian Murphy in Neil Jordan's Breakfast on Pluto. Breakheart Pass with Charles Bronson. And some classic 80s Break-In. Burt Reynolds and Bill Forsyth's Breaking In. And Jennifer Aniston, Vince Vaughn, The Breakup. Directed by Clint Eastwood, William Holden in Breezy. And directed by Sarah Gavron, this is Brick Lane. Directed by Frank Rodham, who did Quadrophenia, this is The Bride with Sting and Jennifer Beals. But then going back to more classic Bride, The Bride of Frankenstein. Bridesmaids. Directed by John Gilliman, The Bridget Remagen with George Segal and Ben Gazzara. One of several versions of The Bridge of San Luis Rey. All-star cast in Richard Attenborough's A Bridge Too Far. And Clint Eastwood romancing Meryl Streep in The Bridges of Madison County. Bridget Jones's Diary. Hard-hitting vengeful western Brimstone. TV drama, but Michael Kitchen in Dennis Potter's Brimstone and Treacle. Scorsese's Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage. Lindsay Anderson's Britannia Hospital with Malcolm McDowell. And Woody Allen's Broadway Danny Rose. Ang Lee's excellent Brokeback Mountain, Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger. And Claire Danes in Broke Down Palace. Fun John Woo movie, Broken Arrow with John Travolta and Christian Slater. And Bill Murray in Broken Flowers for director Jim Jarmusch. King Lear as a Western, this is Broken Lance with Spencer Tracy. A great Robert Duvall performance in this Walter Hill Western, Broken Trail, also with Thomas Hayden Church, really good. Clint Eastwood's Bronco Billy. And Tom Hardy in Nicholas Winding Refn's Bronson. Takeshi Kitano's Brother. Nice 3-disc edition of Brotherhood of the Wolf with Vincent Cassel and Mark Dacascos. Brothers. Albert Finney and Mike Figgis's version of the Browning version. And Robert Redford in Brubaker. Steven Soderbergh's Bubble. And I must admit, this is one for the bin, the bucket list. William Friedkin's intense Bug with Ashley Judd and Michael Shannon. And classic baseball drama Bull Durham. From Woody Allen, Bullets Over Broadway. And classic Steve McQueen in Bullet. A good little movie this from director Frank Darabont, who did The Shawshank Redemption. This is Buried Alive with Jennifer Jason Leigh. And Bradley Cooper in Burnt. Double bill here, we've got Butch and Sundance, The Early Days, and then also Charles Bronson in Death Hunt. The Butterfly Effect 1 and 2. And then finally for the Bees, a documentary about Hunter S. Thompson, Buy the Ticket, Take the Ride. Okay, that was video number 2. I hope you enjoyed all of that. Leave me your comments and please do come back for video number 3. So yeah, like, subscribe, follow along. I hope you're enjoying this. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.